Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm Andrew Axon with Axum Outdoor Adventure, Axeman on the Slingshot forum, and today I'm going to do a review of a natural fork frame that I recently completed, and it's one that I have named the Homesteader. So I recently made a video where I took a little hike through my childhood woods. My mother still lives on the property that I grew up on, and I went back to the woods down there and did some hunting for some natural forks to make some slingshots. And so far I have completed one of those, and I named it the Homesteader just because the fork came from my old homestead. And I just carved it into a design that actually fits my hand pretty well. There, I kind of carved out a little handle and sort of a little groove on the bottom for my thumb there. And then I happen to paint with watercolor. That's one of my hobbies. And so when I finished sanding this thing, I thought I'd just go ahead and put a little color on it there. Started with a base coat of sepia, and I have the tubes of the paint here to show. But that's the sepia that I used, and then the second coat that I put on there was that kind of burgundy color, and it's actually called wineberry. And so sanded it really smooth, painted the first layer of sepia, the second coat of wineberry, and then the top coat I used a color that is called pear green. And what I kind of designed this frame on was one of my other favorite frames, and it is my Scout LT. I cut these to be about the same dimensions there. Now the LT has a wider fork gap than the natural one that I made there, but that was kind of what I was going for because I really liked the look and the feel of this one. So I even sort of kind of tried to mimic the pattern there with the green frames, and the handle being, this one of course is brown, but this sort of the burgundy wineberry color there. And then I, after I got it painted, I sanded, tried to distress it a little bit, and just kind of give it a more old-time homesteady look. That's kind of the theme I was going for. And I did carve Axeman into the bottom there to kind of sign it. I don't know, it's kind of silly maybe. But the final thing that I did was I coated it with this this shellac I found at Lowe's here, and this dries clear, but it also has a how did they word it on here? I believe it said dries clear with a light golden color, which I actually liked because where I had sanded through down to some of the natural wood there, that shellac with that light golden color gave it kind of an aged antique-ish look there. So I was really happy with the way that it looked. Now the biggest point of putting the shellac on there was because the color that I used was watercolor, so that will come off on your hands without a shellac over it. If your hands are sweating or just a little wet or even just rubbing it too much, that will rub off. But since I put the shellac on there, it has stopped that. You know, I've used this several times out in the backyard over the past week, and have had no paint come off on my hands, and it gives it a nice smooth feel as well. So I was really happy with the aesthetics of it, the way it turned out. I've shot it a few times, and I've been really happy so far with how it's shot. But today I'm going to take it out in the backyard. I'm going to shoot some clay with this 0.4 precise band that I have on here, and then after I shoot a little bit of clay, I'm going to put a 0.6 simple shot band with a sniper sling crosshair pouch on there and shoot a little bit of steel, and we'll see how it works. Okay, we're out in the backyard and the sun has finally started to peek out, so that's some pretty good news, but it's still pretty cold out here. Starting to spit a little bit of snow, and there's supposed to be some pretty frigid weather coming in, so I'm going to get out here and try to get some shooting in while I can. But right now I got that paper plate set up down there, and got the 0.4 apple green precise on the Homesteader Natural that I built, and I'm going to shoot some clay and just see how this thing works. So it looks like it's lining up pretty well in the center of the plate, but still shooting a little high with it. All right, this is my paper plate from shooting the clay at 10 meters. Yeah, I got a few here in the bullseye, and like I said though, this was the up and down orientation down there, so I was getting pretty well in the center with it, but a little high on some of the shots. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way it's shooting so far. So I'm gonna head in the house, warm up a little bit, change out the bands, and then I'm gonna come back out and see how it does with some steel. All right, we got the bands changed out with some 0.6 simple shot with a sniper sling crosshair pouch. Got a can with a few dings but no holes, and a pocket full of 8mm steel. Let's see what this thing will do. Man, this thing just really feels good in my hand. I mean, I know I custom carved it to fit my hand, but I'm really pleased with the way it worked out. The way that little sort of tail on the handle there kind of keeps my hand pressed up against the top of the forks there. Really feels comfortable. I'm really happy with it. All right, so far I'm really pleased with the way this thing is shooting. I love the way that my hand fits around it. I mean, I know I kind of carved it out there and there so my hand would feel more natural with it, but I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. I like the way that little tail on the handle there kind of keeps my hand pressed up towards the forks. It really feels like I'm kind of at one with it. I have had about 2 fork hits, and I have to say the Ashwood held up pretty well there. And both times when I had fork hits, it was when I switched from a thumb brace to a pinch grip. The pinch grips, I had fork hits both times doing that. So I'm going to stick with a thumb brace sort of grip on this one. But I know I'm not going to get the greatest speeds out here because it's about 31 degrees out right now and the temperature's dropping. So, but while I'm out here, I'm going to go ahead and fire just a couple shots through the Crony, see what kind of speeds we're getting. 206.3. 221.4. So, all right, I'll take that for 31 degrees. All right, so this is that can. We didn't get any penetration, but there's a few more dings on there. Dinged it up pretty good. So, you know, I'm very pleased with the aesthetics of this thing. It feels very comfortable. I like the way it looks. I like playing with watercolor paint, so that's another hobby of mine. I was able to integrate the two. That was a lot of fun. So I have 3 more of these forks in the garage. I'm going to probably play around and do some more watercolor on some of them. Really enjoyed it. Well, that's going to be it this time for Axum Outdoor Adventure. I had a lot of fun making this natural fork frame and painting it, integrating 2 of my hobbies with slingshots and watercolor. I'm going to do a couple of more of these as I have some more frames in the garage. If you enjoy these videos, don't forget to go down and hit subscribe. Also, remember to give us a like, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you can get alerts anytime we put out new content. Thanks for watching.